You know, it's funny how I say I hate everyone, and yet somehow I still desperately want them to like me. It's like my brain runs on contradiction. I walk around thinking people are terrible, and 2 seconds later, I'm wondering why nobody smiled back at me when I held the door open. It's like I want the universe to send me a thank you card just for existing. You ever do something nice, but only because you want to be seen doing it? Like, you let someone merge into your lane in traffic, but if they don't wave, you immediately regret it. Suddenly, it's not kindness anymore, it's betrayal. Oh, no wave? Cool, I'll just sit here, alone in my decency. We pretend we don't care what people think, but every move we make is a little performance. You could be the toughest, most independent person in the room, but if someone doesn't laugh at your joke, your soul crumbles like a stale cookie. There's that weird moment when you say something you think is hilarious, and no one reacts, and now you have to pretend you didn't mean it as a joke. Oh, I was being serious. Sure you were. Inside, you're dying. Because at that moment, your entire worth as a human being depends on whether some stranger at a dinner party finds you funny. We all do this thing. We talk about how fake society is, how everyone's obsessed with validation, and we say it like we're not part of the problem. But then we go home, and before we even take off our shoes, we check our phones to see if someone liked our picture from 6 hours ago. We act like social approval doesn't matter, but our dopamine levels have a whole different story. The truth is, we've turned human connection into a point system. You don't have friends anymore. You have followers, likes, and comments. It's like we're all auditioning for affection. And the best part? The more we crave approval, the more we pretend we don't. People go, oh, I don't post for likes. Really? Then why are you posing like a Renaissance painting in front of a bathroom mirror? What are you doing? Documenting your enlightenment? No. You want someone to double tap your existence. You want to know that someone, somewhere, looked at your filtered face and thought, yeah, that's a person worth noticing. It's both pathetic and completely human at the same time. It's not even about vanity anymore, it's survival. In this world, being ignored feels like death. You ever walk into a room and no one looks up? For a second, you think you might be a ghost. You start waving your arms, making noise, anything to be acknowledged. Because deep down, every one of us just wants that subtle reassurance that we're seen, that we're valid, that we exist in someone else's reality. And that's the crazy thing. We hate people, we criticize them, but we can't function without their approval. You're sitting there on a bad day, scrolling through your phone, judging everyone. Oh, look at her, another gym selfie. Oh, this guy's pretending to be deep again. But the whole time you're thinking, why don't I look that happy? It's exhausting. It's like living in a psychological tug of war between self-loathing and social hunger. You know what's even weirder? The moments we feel proud of not caring those are still about other people. Like when someone says something rude and you respond, whatever, I don't care what they think. You totally care. That's why you're telling everyone you don't. If you truly didn't care, you wouldn't have a 3-minute story about it. We build these layers of denial to protect our fragile egos, but they're as thin as tissue paper. We say, I don't care if people like me. But then, if someone doesn't, we spiral. We'll replay the conversation, overanalyze every word, and convince ourselves they misunderstood us. We want to be the kind of people who can walk away without looking back, but we're all glancing over our shoulders, hoping someone's still watching. We hate needing that validation, but needing it makes us feel human, and that's the ultimate joke. It's wild how much of life revolves around applause. You might not be on stage, but you're performing constantly at work, with friends, even with family. You laugh a little louder, you nod when you don't agree, you smile when you're dead inside, because you want to be seen as nice. Being nice is like currency. It buys you acceptance. You can be miserable, angry, sarcastic, but as long as people think you're nice, you're safe. The irony is, we all think we're the ones observing the madness. Oh, people are so fake. No, we are people. We're the same ones checking reflections in store windows, making sure we look effortlessly casual. We're the same ones carefully curating opinions so we don't offend the wrong crowd. Every I don't. Care is just a marketing slogan for our insecurity. And when we don't get the approval we want, we overcompensate. You ever see someone pretend they're better than everyone because they didn't get invited to something? Oh, I didn't even want to go. Yeah, sure. You didn't want to go to the fun, food-filled event with laughter and warmth. You just wanted to sit in the dark convincing yourself you're above joy. We all do it. That's how we protect our ego, by pretending we're too good for the things we secretly crave. It's the same in relationships. You tell yourself you're strong, independent, you don't need anyone, and then your phone buzzes and your entire emotional state depends on the name that pops up. You could be in the middle of an empowering speech about self-love, but if that one person doesn't text back, suddenly you're staring at your phone like it's a medical device, showing your heartbeat flatlining. That's the tragedy and comedy of it. We hate how people make us feel small, but we give them the power to define us, and we call it normal. We spend so much time trying to manage how others see us, we forget how to see ourselves. You can't even enjoy a quiet moment without thinking, should I post about this? Like, no, just sit there, breathe. Not everything needs an audience. But of course, the moment I say that, I realize I'm literally standing here talking to people, trying to make them like me. That's the loop we're all stuck in. We hate people, but we need them. We crave solitude, but we want applause. It's like we're allergic to connection, but we can't survive without the reaction. I think the truth is, we don't actually hate everyone. We just hate how much power everyone has over our sense of self. It's scary to admit that someone else's opinion can affect your day, your confidence, your mood. So we cover it with sarcasm, we mask it with cynicism, we call it hating people. But underneath that, it's just fear. Fear of not being enough, fear of being invisible. So we keep playing the game. We keep performing, keep pretending, keep smiling through the contradictions. Because deep down, all of us, even the ones who claim they don't care, are just standing in the same crowd, waiting for someone to look our way and silently say, yeah, you're all right. That's the cruel joke of being human. We hate everyone, but we still want everyone to love us. You ever realize that everyone is annoying? Like, all of them. Every single person on Earth. They all have something about them that makes you want to walk into the ocean and just keep walking. But here's the real punch in the gut, so are you. You're annoying too. You're someone else's God. I can't stand that person. You might think you're the exception, but you're not. You're the main character in your own movie and a background nuisance in someone else's. That's the balance of humanity. We all think we're the only sane ones left, surrounded by idiots, but to everyone else, we're the idiot. It starts small, right? Someone's chewing too loud. Like, how does one human being manage to sound like a cement mixer eating soup? Or maybe it's the person who tells a story that takes 25 minutes to get nowhere. You're standing there nodding politely, but inside you're thinking, if this story doesn't end in a confession or an explosion, I'm walking away. But of course, you don't walk away. You just smile and say, oh wow, that's crazy. Because being fake is easier than being honest. And the thing is, those same little things that drive us crazy in other people, we do them too. We just think ours are endearing quirks. You're not talkative, you're exhausting. You're not honest, you're rude. You're not confident, you're insufferable. Everyone's walking around convinced they're charming while leaving emotional debris in their wake. It's like we all think we're the calm ones in a hurricane we're secretly causing. You know what's even better? We all build our identities around not being like everyone else. I'm not like most people, we say. Like we're some limited edition. Yeah, congratulations, you're not like most people. You're worse in your own special way. The moment you decide you're different, you've already become annoying. Because now, every sentence that comes out of your mouth has that subtle tone of superiority, that invisible, I get it and you don't energy. No one likes that. There's this false sense of self-awareness people brag about now. Everyone thinks being self-aware is a personality. Oh, I know I'm annoying. Well, knowing doesn't make it better. That's like saying, I know I'm a murderer, but at least I'm honest about it. Great, you're emotionally conscious of your chaos, you're still chewing too loud. The awareness doesn't fix the behavior, it just gives you permission to keep doing it. But we can't help it, can we? Human beings are built to irritate each other. It's our main mode of interaction. You ever notice how even people you love deeply, family, partners, friends, become unbearable in certain situations? Like, there's a way someone you love can breathe wrong and it ruins your whole mood. You could be in a great place, feeling calm and centered, and suddenly they start humming while they eat, and now you're ready to file for emotional divorce. It's ridiculous how quickly affection turns into quiet rage. You can adore someone, but if they're too cheerful in the morning, it's over. How can you be that happy before coffee? What's wrong with you? You're a monster. And the worst part is, they think you're the problem, because from their perspective, they're just existing. What's infuriating, people never know when they're being annoying. It's like everyone's immune to their own noise. And of course, we convince ourselves we're the patient ones. I put up with so much. Sure you do, and someone else is saying that about you. You're both heroes in your own minds, enduring the unbearable presence of the other. That's what relationships are. Really, two people slowly learning to tolerate each other's nonsense long enough to forget they're both flawed. Love is just patience with a nicer name. We always think the problem is external. If people weren't so loud, so slow, so stupid, so dramatic, but then we forget how many times we've been the loud, slow, stupid, dramatic one. Like when you're behind someone driving slow, you get angry, but when you're the one driving slow, you're just being careful. When someone cancels plans, they're flaky. When you do it, you're prioritizing mental health. We've all got these double standards that let us feel superior without actually being better. What's fascinating is how much we expect from people we can barely stand. We want everyone to be polite, understanding, emotionally intelligent, but we can't even maintain that for ourselves for 20 minutes in traffic. The second someone cuts us off, it's over. Civilization collapses in our heads. We're flipping off strangers like that's gonna fix society. But here's the part that really gets me. The people who annoy us most are the ones who reflect us the most. You ever notice that? Like, if you hate how someone brags, it's probably because deep down, you wish you could. If someone's too emotional, it bothers you because you're repressed. If someone's too confident, it's because you're insecure. People are mirrors, and we spend most of our time smashing the ones that show us what we don't want to see. That's why I hate everyone isn't really hate. It's projection. We hate being reminded that we're just as messy, just as loud, just as needy as everyone else. The only difference between us and them is the version of ourselves we edit for public viewing. We hide our worst habits and then act disgusted when someone else doesn't. It's hypocrisy, dressed as high standards. You see it everywhere, at work, with friends, in public spaces. You ever sit in a restaurant and silently judge everyone around you? That guy's talking too loud, that couple's being fake, that kid's too hyper. Meanwhile, someone across the room is looking at you thinking, who's this miserable person glaring at everyone? We're all starring in each other's complaints. It's this cycle of mutual irritation that keeps humanity going. We hate each other just enough to stay interesting. If everyone were perfect, we'd be bored. Imagine a world where no one irritated you, you'd lose your purpose. Who would you silently judge in line at the grocery store? Who would you complain about after work? Annoying people are the backbone of our emotional ecosystem. Without them, we wouldn't know who we are. But every now and then, there's this moment, this tiny rare moment, where you realize that for all the irritation, for all the frustration, these same people are also what make life bearable. Because when you're laughing, when you're connecting, when you're not trying to fix or judge anyone, you see it, we're all the same level of annoying, and somehow, that's comforting. No one's better. No one's worse. We're all just trying to make it through the day without screaming. The truth is, we don't really hate people. We hate the parts of them that remind us of ourselves, the flaws we can't escape, the insecurities we can't fix, the noise we can't silence. Everyone's annoying because everyone's human. And being human is a constant contradiction. We crave connection, but we also need space. We want to be understood, but we barely understand ourselves. So maybe the goal isn't to stop being annoyed, maybe it's to laugh at it. To accept that the world's full of chewing noises, awkward stories, bad drivers, loud talkers, and people who don't get your jokes, and somehow you're one of them. Because at the end of the day, the moment you realize that everyone's annoying, including you, life gets a little easier and a lot funnier. You ever think about how weird social media really is? Like, if an alien landed on Earth and saw how humans communicate, they'd be like, so you take pictures of your food, rate each other's faces, argue with strangers, and count imaginary hearts to feel alive? And we'd be like, yeah, it's called being social. Social media is supposed to connect us, but somehow it's made us all socially constipated. Everyone's talking, no one's listening, and we're all pretending to be happy while quietly losing our minds. The truth is, it's not social anymore, it's digital therapy for narcissists. You go online, scroll for 5 minutes, and you realize everyone's performing. You're performing too, of course, but you tell yourself you're different. You're real. Sure you are. Just as soon as you pick the right filter, crop out that weird shadow, and caption your breakfast with a quote from Buddha. We're all actors in the same play, pretending we're not in costume. And you know what's funny? The more we post, the lonelier we get. It's like a paradox. We've built an entire universe where you can have 1,000 friends and still have no one to talk to. You can share your deepest thoughts online and no one cares unless there's a photo attached. You could write, "I'm struggling today," and people scroll past like, "Cool, anyway, here's my smoothie." Empathy doesn't trend well. You can't even be yourself online. You have to be the edited version of yourself, the one who smiles naturally on the 38th try. It's exhausting. You don't live life anymore. You document it. You can't just enjoy a sunset. No, you need proof that you enjoyed it. You're standing there holding your phone, squinting through filters, while the real sun is behind you thinking, "You know I'm free, right?" The weirdest part is how social media changed what we think of as success. It used to be about working hard, building something meaningful, maybe being respected. Now, success is when a bunch of strangers double tap your forehead in a selfie. You could cure a disease, but if you don't post about it, it didn't happen. And if you do post about it, someone in the comments will still say, "You only did it for clout." It's a lose-lose system. You either look invisible or desperate. And that's the new addiction, attention. We used to crave sugar, now we crave validation. It's a full-time job. Keeping up the illusion that your life is amazing. You're stressed, tired, broke, but you're smiling next to a latte, pretending it's all fine. And people believe it. Then they look at their own lives and think, "Why isn't my coffee that happy?" We're comparing our real lives to everyone else's highlight reels and wondering why we feel empty. The craziest thing is how the apps are designed to feed that insecurity. Every notification is like a little hit of dopamine. You post something, then spend the next hour pretending not to care while checking every 5 minutes. I'm not obsessed, I'm just curious. No, you're hooked. You're emotionally invested in a digital scoreboard that determines your self-worth. You could be sitting in a beautiful park, surrounded by life, and you're still hunched over your phone thinking, "Why hasn't anyone liked my post yet?" We call it engagement, but it's really dependence. We're all trained to perform. Emotions for algorithms. You can't just feel something. You have to declare it publicly with hashtags and emojis. You can't just have a thought. You have to make it shareable. Even grief has to be aesthetic now. You ever see someone post a crying photo with perfect lighting? You know that took at least 5 takes. Hold on, I need to recry, the lighting shifted. And then there's the comments section, the world's largest trash fire. That's where logic goes to die. You can post the most innocent thing, like a picture of a puppy, and someone will still find a way to be offended. You adopted a dog, so you support animal domestication? Unfollowed. You can't win. You either get praise or outrage, and sometimes both from the same person. It's like the entire internet is permanently on edge, just waiting to be mad about something. But we can't stop, because buried under all that chaos is that tiny little voice that says, "Maybe this time, people will notice me." That's what social media really runs on, the desperate hope of being seen. Every post is basically saying, "Hey, I exist." And every like is the digital version of someone whispering, "I see you." We've turned connection into a marketplace. You give me validation, I'll return the favor. We call it friendship, but it's just emotional bartering. You ever try going offline for a few days? It's terrifying. You feel like you don't exist. You'll catch yourself reaching for your phone like it's a limb that got amputated. What's happening without me? Nothing. That's the secret. Nothing's happening. But your brain doesn't believe it. It's like we've tied our sense of identity to a feed that never stops scrolling. And then there's the influencers, the new royalty of the digital kingdom. You ever notice how they all talk the same? That fake enthusiastic tone, like they've never known sadness. "Hey guys, today I'm gonna show you how to live your best life." Meanwhile, they're dead inside. You can tell by the eyes. The smile says, "I'm thriving," but the pupils say, "Please unplug me." We used to look up to scientists and artists. Now it's people who can point at text on a screen while music plays in the background. We're giving millions of views to finger-pointing choreography. Humanity's peak innovation is now, watch me pretend to react to my own video. But I get it. We all want to feel important. We all want to feel like our lives matter. The problem is, social media makes that impossible. Because no matter what you do, there's always someone doing it better, faster, prettier. You could run a marathon, post about it, and the first comment will be, "Cool, but I did too." It's a treadmill of comparison, and the more you run, the more tired you get. And somehow, It's made us terrified of silence. You can't even stand in line without pulling out your phone. Heaven forbid you're alone with your own thoughts for 30 seconds. You'll scroll through the same 3 apps like you're digging for gold, even though you know there's nothing new there. It's like we're scared that if we stop scrolling, the world will move on without us. But here's the truth, the world doesn't care. It's too busy taking selfies. The thing that kills me is how it's changed real relationships. You used to actually talk to people, now you just like their posts to prove you care. Hey, I saw your dog died. Heart emoji. You can break up with someone and their face still shows up in your feed for months. There's no closure anymore, just digital ghosts haunting your scroll. And somehow, we've convinced ourselves this is normal. Even friendship feels like a transaction now. If someone doesn't respond to your story or comment back, you take it personally. Oh, I guess we're not friends anymore. You could have known someone for 20 years, but one missed reply and you're ready to write their eulogy. We've replaced real connection with performance metrics. And the biggest joke of all, we call it social media, but no one's actually social. You could be sitting in a room full of people and every single one of them is staring at their screens, laughing at jokes from people they've never met. It's not a conversation anymore, it's a competition who can appear the most interesting, the most beautiful, the most woke, the most relatable. Everyone's curating themselves like museum exhibits. Here's me pretending to enjoy hiking. Here's me pretending my relationship is perfect. Here's me pretending I don't care about likes while checking every 10 seconds. And we wonder why we're all anxious and miserable. It's because we're living in a never-ending popularity contest with invisible judges. You can't win because the rules keep changing. Today, it's authenticity. Tomorrow, it's irony. Next week, it's vulnerability, but only if it's pretty. You can't just be human online. You have to be brand safe, digestible, and algorithmically optimized. But what's crazy is, even knowing all this, we still go back every single day, because for all its flaws, it gives us tiny bursts of belonging. That one comment from someone saying, "This made my day," or that one heart from someone you didn't think noticed you. It's enough to keep you hooked. It's sad, but it's also kind of beautiful in a twisted way. Because under all the filters and hashtags, it's still the same old human need to be seen, to be heard, to matter. Maybe that's the point. Maybe social media isn't destroying us, it's just revealing what we've always been. Insecure, hungry for approval, desperate to connect, and terrified to admit it. It's a mirror we built for ourselves, and now we can't look away, even though the reflection is distorted. So, oh yeah, everyone's annoying online, everyone's fake, everyone's begging for attention, but so what? That's us, that's humanity. We're messy, needy, ridiculous creatures screaming into the void for someone to notice. And sometimes, when someone does, even if it's just a heart on a screen for a split second, it feels like maybe we're not alone.